What you got?
The guy was working on it, servicing it, and dropped something in there, and he's like, yeah, I'll just crank it over and it'll blow it out.
What's up, fuckers?
Yep.
Hi.
He's like,
This is like the first half of the day. Every day is, you know, I get up and I relax a little bit because it's the weekend. So I usually get out the house around, I don't know, like 11, 10:30, somewhere around there. And then 2 hours later, arrive here.
hi.
No matter what, every single time it's 2 hours. So I know I bitch about it a lot, but it's a big chunk of the day if you think about it.
Yeah, 'cause it's
you drive
2
here
hours
and you
back.
drive back. Yeah, that's 4 hours of your day. That's half of people's, you know, a normal day. So yeah, it takes a big chunk.
I remember my first part-time job.
Yeah, right, exactly. Part-time, 8 hours a day, part-time. But we'll be, so here we got a bunch of work to do on a couple of cars. One, to hopefully finish up today. Two, to prep for tomorrow. Right, 2 or 1?
2.
Where's the...
He's outside.
Oh, okay. And then after, we got to go over and take a look at the Pro Mod again, see if we can get that running good. So that's the day. We'll probably get started on it. All right, so I skipped ahead because you don't want to deal with me scratching my head, staring at a computer, typing a bunch of buttons over and over and over again until I figure out what the hell I'm doing. So we got Madhu's car all sorted out, I'm pretty sure. I had to get clever on a couple of different tables. So there's no indication from the shifter to tell the ECU that it's going into gear, and this transmission really lugs down the motor quite a bit, especially when it's cold. So I made a couple of tables to hopefully take care of that. So let's see, I did almost everything with 1D stuff. So we put in a high idle offset because I had to actually mechanically set the throttle body to where it idled up really high so that it was capable of idling up when it's in gear, when you're, you know, lugging down the power steering and stuff like that. But when you put it in a neutral, it takes a while for the IAC to chop all of that duty cycle out. And so I set a timing value to be to basically help it idle down. So even though mechanically it's set to idle really high, we're killing down the idle a little bit when it's not needed. So that's what that table does. And then this table, a launch target for boost. So basically it just kicks up the duty cycle on the boost controller until it reaches this boost threshold. So right now it's at 6. So as soon as it hits 6 PSI, that thing stops being useful. It disables the table. And same thing with this one, it retards the timing at a certain load until it reaches the target. So 6 PSI, this table stops pulling timing, and that enables it to kind of just like hover right there at your target. This one is a high boost table, so it increases the duty cycle on the boost control solenoid when he switches the high boost switch on the dash. It's a digital switch. Pump gas, pretty basic. He pushes a button on the dash and it takes out the fuel appropriate for running this thing on pump gas because it doesn't have a flex fuel sensor. And this burnout rev limiter, we retard a bunch of timing as you're approaching that secondary limiter when he flicks the switch on the dash. And what else did we do here? Okay, so IAC position offset. This is one that I hadn't done previously. I mean, there may be a better way to do this. I was kind of fiddling around with it a little bit. I think this will do it. The IAC motor is good enough to keep it idled when it is in gear, but like I said, the problem was that we couldn't tell it when we were actually grabbing the gear, and so it would die before it, you know, IAC on regular idle control, it takes a while to build up the percentage, and so we needed it to just offset real quick. Like as soon as it was needed, we needed it to chunk up to like 60%. So what I did was I just made a little table that's RPM. It's mainly it's coolant versus RPM. So obviously there's a higher duty cycle earlier when it's cold versus when it's hot. But really, as soon as like our idle target is going to be you know, around 1,000. It's going to be higher when it's colder, but I think this will still work to where if the RPM starts getting down to anything below 960, we start putting big values of idle duty cycle into it so that it jumps straight there instead of slowly trying to get it there. Because when it tries to do its normal progression, I mean, when this thing's cold and you put it into gear, it's like, you know, immediate dies down. So what I'm hoping is this will enable it to, if it starts getting below that RPM, it kicks up the duty cycle immediately on the IAC and allows it to stay alive. So without having a preemptive indication that you're putting it into gear, I'm not sure if there's a better way to do this, but we'll play around with it and see if it works out. So now we're just going to take a little drive, cruise around, make sure everything's good with, like, you know, moving the power steering around. This is just making sure that it idles. This car's probably going to do a lot of, like, roll out to a car meet and, you know, rev it, put it on launch control a couple of times. So that's what we're working on right now. So when he rolls into a parking lot, I don't look like an asshole because it dies or, you know, idles all stupid and stuff. So, all right, have at it. Yeah, do your thing. Push it, I mean.
I don't have any problem.
No, yeah, it's because you got big man feet. My toes are only used to typing on keyboards. Likes this shifter. I freaking hate it. Every time I go to, like, try to put it in park, my fingers are just like, ah, god damn it, what do I have to push and pull or press? System in the back.
Downshift works.
Yeah. Looking at him like, damn, this thing's cool. Nick barely fits in this thing. makes it really easy to stay at about whatever the rev limiter is at. So you'll bounce off the limiter if it's not enough timing out.
Oh, we shouldn't do the burnout.
Huh?
We shouldn't do anything crazy.
Oh, wow.
It just got pain.
Oh, the pain. Ah. Suck the fun right out of life.
Yeah, I can kind of go wing.
Nah, I mean, it's up to you.
I just want to hear it transmitting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing works. Cool. Yeah.
I just wanted to see if it was the brakes or not.
There you go.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah. It pulls a bunch of timing until it doesn't need to, and then it stops. So he gets some initial pops, but then that's it. See, if it wasn't nice paint and stuff on here, we'd be able to do gnarly, nasty burnouts. So it idles up for a little while, and then it makes its way down back to 1,000.
Oh, damn, we didn't test the lockup.
Oh, it wasn't, oh, that's right, I wasn't in a gear.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Should be good, should drive around normal.
Yeah.
I saw it dip into this a little bit, so I'm assuming it worked because it came right back out of it. So, I think we're good. And pump gas switch works because it tries to kill it. Should work.
Oh, see, what's that?
Wow. Yeah, it says a mismatch, but it must not be far enough out to where it like doesn't work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, because I mean, I did mine. I was like version 4, using version 5 software, or no, I was like opposite spectrums of the builds on version 4, and it still worked. But I think when you go to the next one, if you have version 4 firmware on this and you go to version 6, it ain't gonna work.
Is the fan on?
Yep. Well, I mean, supposedly. Like it's lit up.
I thought that was green.
Oh no,
No?
lights up blue or dark blue.
Oh.
I can change it to green.
We gotta make sure they're on.
Yeah, here, I'll change it to green while you check and see if it's on. Don't paint your cars, people, because then you won't want to do burnouts.
Fun out of it.
Suck the fun right out of life. All right, well, that's a pretty quick one. Yeah, we'll do some more video. We gotta mess around with this car tomorrow, as well as that Camaro in there tomorrow, hopefully at the track. That Camaro is actually on like a split between HP Tuner and Holley. So we're having somebody help us out with the HP Tuner stuff because I'm not familiar with it. And then we're gonna do power control and stuff like that at the track tomorrow. This one's on Pro EFI, so we're gonna mess with that one. You know, something that I also don't do very often. So hopefully that all goes smooth. But here, Madhu's car is finally done. So pretty happy about that. Everything runs good. There's always ways to make it a little bit better. I'll let him know kind of, you know, the stuff about the shifter, you know, how he can make that a little bit better. But I mean, honestly, if that table takes care of that, then there's no reason really to worry about it. So I hope it does, but we won't know until it's like dead cold and he tries to start it and drive it around. But worst case scenario, he has to start it up, which it does perfectly fine, and let it idle until it's warm enough to, you know, drive around with the tables that we created. I hope that's not the case. I want him to be able to just fire it up and go, but realistically, he should probably have some heat into it before he goes driving around anyway. Yeah, I guess we'll have some more videos coming up soon, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.